All right, beautiful people, welcome in. Saturday night stream, college football's on, and you have a lot of questions that we are going to answer on the Flock site. Badaki is not with us. It is his wife's birthday, so they are out celebrating for the weekend. So just me today, but don't worry. We are going to jump through the questions, and I appreciate y'all for being here with us. Let's just see real quick. I want to make sure that everybody up to Your What Hurts gets an extra voucher from the other stream. Apologies, the last time we streamed, the site crashed, but I will make sure and make that right for you guys. Appreciate you for being here with us. I know a lot of you guys probably have difficult start-sit questions. I, even myself, am working through a lot of these injuries that are popping up. For example, if I go to my rankings this week, we did have the feeling that based off of news, we were going to get both Debo and Terry this week, and we're not. So Debo's out. Terry McLaurin, did we already move him down? All right, Terry McLaurin is out. So we're going to have to ask some questions like, is it Luke McCaffrey? Is Luke McCaffrey a legitimate option? Is Chris Moore a legitimate option from some of you guys out there in a desperate situation? How about Jalen Lane, right? These are guys that if you're in a true desperate situation, they can be considered. No longer can Zay Joneses of the world be considered. As the surprise is that Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to play this week. So we should rank him, but let's put Luke McCaffrey. Honestly, guys, I feel like with Luke McCaffrey and Jalen Lane and all these names, I feel like you're throwing a dart at the board with all of them. Chris Moore was the one that had the most targets last week, but that doesn't mean much because this is a young group between Lane and McCaffrey. They could ask either one of them to step up and just, put Chris Moore back where he deserves. But Marvin Harrison Jr. versus the Green Bay Packers, not the best matchup. I'm probably going to put him right around 17. So I'd probably start him over Worthy, AJ Brown, these type of names. But a lot of stuff going on, isn't it? Evans should be in my rankings. Is he not in my rankings? All right. I mean, I'm so sorry, guys. This just keeps happening. It's so frustrating. Okay. Give me 1 second. 1 second, y'all. We're going to jump straight into these questions, but I've already got this. Okay. Yeah, Mike Evans, before the week, I swear I had him at like wide receiver. I think I had him at like wide receiver 12, right behind Rasheed. That's probably where we would put him there. But yeah, guys, lots to talk about. But I appreciate you again for being here with me. Now, we do have a giveaway today. If you'd like to enter, it's fairly simple. All you have to do is like the stream and type week 7 into the chat, all one word. And shout out to Philip for, doing that little YouTube thing over there. You will now stand out in the chat, which is awesome. But lots of questions to get to. And again, feel free to ask. If there's anyone in the rankings that you think are missing, let me know. I would love to make sure that we've got everybody added. There's a feature that they're trying on the site right now, and it's just leading to a couple players missing. Okay. All right. We'll get to these team reviews later. Harry, what's up, man? He says, play DK tonight or gamble. Well, hopefully you didn't play DK, and hopefully Evans is available. But because that happened when the site was glitching, I'm going to give you a free start sit question to come back, my friend. We appreciate your support. Texas Boy says, need help at running back at flex. Okay, so at flex, You know, I don't think Tez Johnson's in play. Oh, wow. I mean, it looks like you have to start Tez Johnson. Look, I would look towards the waiver wire man in a 10-team league. I don't think... is CeeDee really not ranked, guys? There's no way CeeDee Lamb is not ranked. Dude. What in the world? How is that even possible, guys? Okay. I'm going to put... Yeah, that's where I would put him anyway. Okay. Y'all let me know if there's another player. They have this new feature they're trying, and it's gonna, I guess, work out. Look, Tez Johnson, yeah, is not really in play anymore with Mike Evans back. There's a chance that Igbuka plays, so obviously if Igbuka plays, you can play him. If not, look towards other options. Like, I'd rather start some of those commander receivers. In your flex spot, I think Kittle's got to be a flex for you, and then I will probably rock with Vidal here. I appreciate you, man. Like the others, I'm going to give you a free start sit question for the inconvenience on the last stream. That's all the way up until your what hurts. I gave your what hurts a voucher already. Gleam here is starting May, Rico, which makes sense. Judkins at receiver. If Igbuka plays, obviously it's Igbuka. If not, it looks like DJ Moore is going to play. Which is obviously frustrating because most people, like myself, want to see Luther Burden in a feature role. But let me just double check on that before I say something stupid. I'm pretty sure DJ Moore... Yeah, he's in play, right? He's off the injury report. So weird how he got hospitalized and then they're like, oh, he's fine. So yeah, Luther Burden, not really an option. To me, I think it's Trey Tucker with Jacoby Myers kind of dealing with something. If you can't start Igbuka. And then in your flex spot, I'll probably rock with Ramondre Stevenson, but I don't like it. Appreciate you, Gleam. We're going to give you a free voucher as well. Caleb Chase for JCM and Rashee Rice. This is a fairly even trade, especially if you don't need Caleb Williams. But after Thursday Night Football, I would argue that you could probably sell Jamar Chase for more than this. After what we saw from him, I'd argue you could probably get more. For example, can you send Pickens and get CeeDee with this type of deal? I just think after a 23 target game, which by the way is just simply not sustainable. Maybe we do see some records broken. But 23 target, it's just not sustainable. But obviously, right now, they're willing to hyper-target him. You'd have to hope that at some point a team adjusts. Well, not for Jamar Chase owners, you would hope not. But your What Hurts says, I have one drop for Evans. Have to drop one for Evans. Help. Okay, you have to drop one of these guys for Evans. That would probably be either Diggs or Marks. I'm more likely to drop Diggs, but you're in an 8-team league, so I'm sure you could pick him back up. So your running back room is definitely more in dire need. So I'd probably drop Diggs there, and then we'd be starting Mike Evans, assuming he plays. Thanks, man. Thanks for the question. Okay, don't bet on me. Is sending away Judkins for Adams, Debo in a third in Dynasty? No, man. No, this isn't close, dude. Not a chance I'm doing this in Dynasty. Love you, Devontae. Devontae's worth a second at best. Debo's worth a mid to late second at best. You're not sending away 2 seconds and a third for Judkins, bro. I mean, you're not getting that for Judkins. You're underselling Judkins so hard in Dynasty football here, my dude. I mean, maybe ask for Brian Thomas. And a second or something. If he's got a second round pick. But that trade right there is just not even close, dude. Brian Thomas in a second. Even then, I think people prefer Judkins. You got to get, at minimum, a first, probably 2 first-round values. So this is way underselling Quinton Judkins. I'm not really close to interested in that deal. Sam says, I'm rebuilding team. Other team is ranked #1. Okay, so you're sending away Baker for McCarthy, a second. Yeah, I mean, look, I understand the, you know, being a rebuilder, you want to get a younger player, but Baker is just objectively by far the better quarterback right now. So you're betting on a project in JJ. I'm not out on JJ, but you're going to, if this is these picks, even if these are early seconds, it doesn't interest me. But if these are their picks, they're all late picks anyway. And then you're getting JJ McCarthy. Like, Carson Wentz doesn't play a part here. So I don't really see like how you're winning in this trade. You need JJ McCarthy to be a better fantasy asset in the next 2 years than Baker Mayfield. And that's possible, but I just don't see how you're winning here. You need a first round pick. Give us something that's actually useful, right? Get rid of those other picks. You don't even need Carson Wentz. If you're a rebuilder, why would you need Carson Wentz? You don't. So you can remove him entirely and then send Baker in a third or something. Or get a young player that's actually you know, very enticing on their roster. Do they have a young name out there? They're very much stacked at every position. So it's going to have to come through a first round pick. Look, at worst, you do a pick swap, right? But don't make it for 27, make it for 28 or something. If you can send like a second back. I don't really like the deal very much, to be honest with you, though. I don't like the deal too much. Mike Doty sending away Jonathan Taylor for Bucky and Garrett Wilson. Love Bucky. Love Garrett. But you got to be a really good team to wait on this. Look, if you told me in 2 weeks both of those guys are back and healthy, I would take the deal. But I don't think anyone can guarantee that right now. Right? Yeah. I mean, can you find a way to include like Stephon Diggs in this and throw them back? I don't even want to throw Coker, but I don't know, a Dobbs or a Watson or something. I think you're close, but you need a little more value. Bird Gang says, should I ask start Gadsden or start Bird? A lot of words there that aren't fully written out. That's okay. We'll figure this out. Justin Herbert or Justin Fields this week? I'm pretty sure we're going to go Justin Fields without Garrett Wilson present. Yes, we are. Woody Marks and Vidal. Yeah, you're in a tough spot. Those are your best options. Jamison, Chase. Obviously, look, if Egbuka plays, you can play him over Jamison. And then in your flex, you'd flex Jamison over Ellick. Now, unfortunately, Burden is not a legitimate option anymore if DJ Moore is back and healthy. So if there is no Egbuka, your final flex option probably needs to be either Ellick or Kendre. And I guess I lean Ellick. That's not a fun one, man. I'm sorry. You're in a tough spot. Bauer Rangers sending away Rico and Chuba and Brian for Roma Dunze. I mean, look, I love Roma Dunze as much as the next guy, but that feels like too much. You know? That feels like a bit too much. Can you get back something else? I mean, by the way, if you make this move, you only have Saquon and Javonte. I just don't... I love Adunze. I just don't see a reason to make a move like this. I'm not... This is not you getting CeeDee Lamb. Love Roma Dunze, but he's still not CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this, honestly. I don't like the idea of getting rid of your RB3 and then having no other option outside of Saquon and Javonte. Wait, that's not your team. This is your team. I apologize. You would, but still, you're in the same spot. My bad, right? JCM Genty. That's all you have. Yeah, no, I don't like this move for you. I really don't. I'm just gonna. I don't like the structure either, so I'm not gonna suggest a counter. Negatron. I'm just reading it as it shows. Bo Nix this week for me. At running back, obviously Devon Achan's in there. Don't love the weather for him. And then on the opposite side of that, Judkins. Ooh, Gibbs though. Wow. Okay. Well, yep. We're gonna hopefully put Judkins in our flex then. At wide receiver, this will be Drake. Oh my God. Y'all are crazy, dude. Okay. We have to pick one flex, guys, between Judkins, Rice, and Sutton. I don't know how I said Judkins. I don't think I can. So it's going to be Judkins, but you're going to have plenty of guys on your bench that are going to put up 20-plus point games. And that's going to be frustrating, but geez Louise, what an awesome team. At quarterback, we'll go Darnold here. We've got CMC, JCM, Adams. If Mike Evans plays, we'll go Mike Evans. And then in your flex, probably Pittman. Probably Pittman. I know Pittman was dealing with an injury. When is he not, right? But he's still good to go. Okay. Legend is starting Baker Mayfield. Then after that, he's got a running back choice of Brees, Monty, Dowdle. I will go Brees. At wide receiver, we're going to be going London. Oh, my God. Some of y'all's teams, man. Y'all are making me jealous. Kittle or Ferguson. I'm probably starting Kittle this week, although both are must-starts. They're both top 4 plays. And then the flex, my goodness, dude. My goodness gracious. Some of the teams y'all have, man. Some of the teams y'all have. I'll go Rashee Rice by 1 spot here. My goodness gracious. I just want to quickly look at the weather because I did hear some rumblings about the Bears game. Okay, 75% chance of rain, partly, let's see, some light rain is possible, moderate winds. Okay. Something that we definitely need to monitor is weather this weekend, guys. I know, like, in particular, the Dolphins-Browns. Steady rain expected for Sunday afternoon. A delay is unlikely, but ball security will be an issue for wet conditions, moderate winds. So the Dolphins-Browns, it might be difficult to pass in this game, but that's great for Achan and Judkins, right? Well, definitely Judkins. Saints-Bears in Chicago. There, you know, this is RotoWire saying it might be difficult to pass. So if the weather is really an issue and before the game you're like, wow, this is crazy, then you can swap out a Dunze for Mike. But assuming that it's not too bad, we're going to leave a Dunze in there. All right, T.W. Gillen says, scared to start Brees. Carolina D been stopping the run. All right, well, you haven't given us a quarterback option, so I don't know who your options are there. But at running back, I am going to go Scattaboo here first. And then you've got Rashad, which I love. And your flex spots, this would be Mike Evans, assuming that he plays. And Debo is officially out, so that would probably be Etienne or Breece Hall. Now, Etienne goes up against the Rams. It's a tough defense, too. Breece Hall against the Panthers, that's a tough defense. You've got, you know, a couple really difficult matchups. I am going to lean Breece Hall here slightly by 1 choice, but man, it's hard to make the right call with so many great options. Good luck. Rowdy is sending away Ferguson for Evans. You have Waller. Man. How comfortable are you guys with Darren Waller? Would you send away Jake Ferguson to get Mike Evans and rock with Darren Waller? I feel like that's a lot of confidence in Darren Waller personally. Your waiver wire is not stacked full of startable, streamable names either. I am not sure, y'all. Yeah, look, this site is RotoWire. They're American, so all these temperatures are in Fahrenheit, right? That is funny, though. What do you guys think? Do you have enough confidence in Darren Waller to send away Jake Ferguson? Don't think I do. I'm loving the story so far, but I don't know that I've got that much confidence. Is there a 2-for-2 in play here? Right? I mean, can we go out and grab... I mean, does he have another tight end? He has Ott and Ingram. Yeah, so of course he wants Jake Ferguson. I'm not really in love with this, to be honest, man. Why does this guy have 4 quarterbacks rostered? No wonder his team has no depth. He has 4 quarterbacks in a 1-quarterback league. Yeah. I kind of agree with Styles here. I'd rather try and find a way to send Waller to this dude. So let's counter and say, look, we don't need Evans. Give us Addison instead. And we'll give you Darren Waller. Maybe that could be a counter you could try. You could also include, like, something small like, hey, man, DeAndre Swift is dealing with an injury. What if I give you Kyle Monangai and Waller, and you give me Addison or Waddle, So there's a couple conversations that you could probably have there. You're what hurts. What's up, brother? He says, if Evan plays, I have to drop one help. So May, Jacobs, Chase, Pickens, Tucker. I think we looked at this, right? We said Diggs. Yeah, I think we looked at this and we said Diggs, right? And I would play Mike. Now, Scatterboo or JCM, I'm probably leaning Scatterboo, but I do love JCM this week. That was a slightly different one, though. Deathhammer says, not set in stone with trading, but on an 0-2 streak. Well, yeah, you're not doing this, dude. I mean, come on. Come on, Deathhammer. You're selling Gibbs way too low here, brother. I love Igbuka, but... yeah, I mean, anybody who owns Jaylen Warren, even after what they did on Thursday Night Football, it was the Bengals. I don't think anybody's still, like, in love with Jaylen Warren. You don't make this trade, brother. You absolutely do not make this trade. You're just getting rid of your best player and then making your start-sit decision every week much more difficult. There's just not a chance you do this, man. I'm sorry, brother. There's not a chance you do this. It makes no sense. Don't do it, please. Every week, I'm putting Jahmyr Gibbs straight into my lineup. And now you're asking yourself every week to say, well, do I start Warren or Brown or Marks or JCM or Vidal? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You're just not doing that, are you? Philly says, I have Addison coming in Saturday from a trade, so it will be Addison JT for Amon-Ra Kyren. Addison JT for Amon-Ra Kyren. I am pretty indifferent on that. I think the two, obviously Jonathan Taylor's the best player there, and Kyren and Amon-Ra are the better package. I'm just indifferent on it, to be honest, though, because obviously you're giving up the best player, one of the best players in fantasy football, so you have to keep that in mind as well. Guys, I appreciate you so much for being here with me. I'm going to answer as many questions as I can today. We're going to get through all of them. Now, obviously, you can get a question answered through the Flock site. That's the pinned comment. Just make sure you submit it with Zach and Badaki from Fantasyland. Apologies that the light is weird today. The app that controls my lighting is not opening, so is what it is, right? We're doing what we can here. We are doing a giveaway as well today. So if you want to enter the giveaway, all you got to do is like the stream and type week 7 into the chat. Every 100 likes, we will raffle off some vouchers here, and we're pretty much halfway there. Last thing, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, but the redraft pass still available. $34 one-time purchase when you use my promo code LAND. When you get the season pass with the code LAND, you're going to get all the rankings, rest of season, weekly rankings, as well as the trade calculator, all the premium tools, as well as some vouchers to come on the live stream and ask me some questions. So great value, only a $34 one-time purchase. I'll put that link in the chat as well. But let's keep going with these questions. Bye week is starting Aaron Rodgers, Gibbs, Judkins, Higgins. It's funny because Aaron Rodgers, before Thursday Night Football, we told someone to start him over Justin Fields. And then I was seeing in Discord, they were like, why the hell did someone tell me to start Aaron Rodgers? And I was like, y'all got to be patient, dude. And then he finally turned it on against the Bengals. At wide receiver, you're going to start McMillan, in my opinion. Then Evans, I guess, is your best option. And I'm not going to start any of these guys over Saquon Barkley. So thank you for the question. All right. Aiden is here with a start-sit question. Appreciate you, Aiden. He has got Jones or Hurts. We're going to start Hurts. Running backs are great. Your last flex spot can either be Marv, AJ, Ladd, Brees. My God, I wish I had these options. Okay. Wow, I really feel like Brees, Ladd, AJ, Marv are all in the same exact tier. I really don't have a strong opinion between these guys. I truly don't. I'm gonna make sure we get a good answer. So we're gonna poll the chat here. This is PPR. I mean, it would be McConkey, but now we have to think about Quentin Johnston, right? Marvin feels, it's gonna sound so weird, but without Kyler Murray, I almost wonder if Marvin is the answer. Let's get an answer, though. Go ahead and vote in the chat, guys. Let's get some chats helping out here. Vote in the chat. We've got 27 votes right now. I'm going to find an answer, Aiden, because all these guys are very close for me. This would easily be Ladd if there's no Johnston. And in a couple days ago, you thought, well, Marvin wasn't even an option. Now you got to consider him. A.J. Brown in that offense looks so bad. It's the Super Bowl hangover right now. They're feeling it. Okay, let's get some more votes in the chat, y'all. Let's get this up to at least 50 votes, and then I'm going to make a decision here for him. So far, nobody is thinking A.J. Brown's the right answer, right? 7% of the votes are going to A.J. Brown, 15 to Marvin. It's very close between Brees and McConkey in the chat right now, and the chat ultimately goes Ladd McConkey. I'm fine to roll with that. It is a high over-under against the Colts. Should be a high-scoring affair. That's what we're going to rock with. Bengals fan since 05. Yep, you're going to put Rachaad White in there. Then you're going to put Etienne. At receiver, tough spot, but you've got Amon-Ra and you've got Rashee Rice coming back. Great. At tight end, between McBride and Ferguson, we're going to start McBride. At the flex position, oh, no Puka, Hurts. I think Ferguson has got to be flex of all these names. And then between Hubbard and Pittman and Dobbs, I'm going to lean Pittman here. It'll be interesting to see what happens in Carolina, though, in that running back room, won't it? Brando says, just traded Chuba and Pickens for Scat and Worthy. I like it. They're sending away Bucky and Goddard for Waddle and Waller. No, I'm not interested in this. 10 teams start 7. You surely have wide receivers that you can play. You cannot trade for Bucky Irvings when Bucky Irving is back. So I don't know if you've done the trade or yet or not, but to me, this would be a hard pass. I think this is underselling Bucky. I wouldn't want Waddle to be the name I would get if I sold Bucky Irving. But of course, if you're in a desperate spot, you got to do what you got to do, I guess. What's up? Be good. scat plus a first for Saquon in a 3-keeper league, I'd keep Gibbs, Jason, and Saquon. So I guess they want us to start, say, and answer a direct question. A little sneaky there. Yeah, I just don't see a reason to make that trade right now, to be honest, because right now, Scatterboo's a must-start every single week. So maybe Tyrone Tracy's role grows, and then you can reconsider that trade after this week. But right now, I just don't see a reason to make that trade. You got a rookie running back who's showing they could be elite in fantasy football, and it's only their 6th week in the league. I'll probably just, if you're in a keeper league, you dream of keeping that type of guy for a while. Obviously, Jason's going into your lineup. No Terry this week. I think Keenan is your next best option, but he's not looked great. At flex, we're going to put Dobbins in there. And our last flex is between Matthew Golden, Trey Tucker, Marks. Ooh. If I had Matthew Golden, I would probably play him over Woody Marks. Yeah. All right, Locked. What's up, Locked? They are sending away 2 firsts and Kenneth Walker for Pook. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't need to even look at your team. Go get Puka Nacua, brother. Go get the best player in fantasy football when he comes back. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. J McDonald _60 sending away Dak for Bryson Walker in a Dynasty League. I just don't know why you do this. Seller bundle extra picks to upgrade. I don't know why you do this, though. You have no idea when you can start Walker. They want to use Charbonnet. Bryce Young, maybe he's the future, maybe he's not. I haven't seen anything this year to indicate either way. They are winning games because of their run game, not because of Bryce Young. Yeah, I don't like this one, man. I don't like this. If this is your best offer for Dak, then you keep Dak. You gotta, brother, Dak Prescott right now is one of the hottest names in Dynasty if you're selling to a contender. He is so attractive. There's just no chance that's your best offer. There's just no chance. Aniko, Set says, Zach, come get Lamar and Charlie. Send me an offer, brother. Send me an offer. I'm not opposed. Okay, Aniko says Fannin or Waller, Vidal or Johnston. Other suggestions. So Daniels, Achan, Scottaboo, Jefferson, London, Pickens. All right, so I'll probably go Fannin this week unless like we're before the game and you're looking at the pregame and it's literally a, cataclysmic storm. Then you go Waller. At the flex spot, obviously, if Igbuka plays, you play him over for Vidal. But if he doesn't, I think I'm going to put Vidal in there. With the amount of times he should touch the ball. Ibs, what's up? Sending away Allen, Judkins, Dunze for Jaden, Javonte, Jefferson. This is about as lateral of a trade as a trade can possibly get. I don't have a strong opinion here, right? Obviously, you prefer Josh Allen over Daniels, but it's not by much. You prefer Judkins over Javonte, but it's not by much. And there's plenty of people in this world who prefer Javonte. Between Dunze and Jefferson, don't have a problem which way you lean. They both have already had their bye weeks. This feels like the most lateral trade of trades that exists. Maybe you're not really doing this trade because you're losing on the Allen side, right? I mean, maybe if you want to make it a little bit more fair, and I love Jaden Daniels, but you can make it more fair by just removing the quarterbacks, but that's about as equal as a trade can possibly get. So hopefully that's helpful. Okay, Modest Mouse says, your playbook told me to pick a wide receiver that would help my team. Okay. So you would be sending away Justin Herbert for Neighbors, a first and a second. Now, let me try and remember obviously. So, right. Okay. Are you a rebuilder in this? I don't remember. You might be. I think you are, right? Because you only have Genty there. You had a bunch of injuries. Honestly, I'm fine with this. I'm fine to take the neighbor side of that. That's pretty good value. Ant Vlogs says, sad letting Rice go, but might have to give up Smith too. Okay, so this is a dynasty question. I mean, look, I would be sad to let Rashee Rice go as well, but brother, you're getting Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Diggs and Kamara in Dynasty are not easy pieces to sell. So if you have this option, then you take Jacobs and Amon-Ra, my dude. I think if I polled our Dynasty channel, all of the subscribers over on Dynastyland Football, I would go out on a limb and say 99% of them would probably pursue the side that you're getting here. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. Itoshi says it's a 10-team, 1 quarterback. We've got 3 receivers there. I still have Daniels, Taylor, JCM, and Bowers. Okay. So you're sending away DJ Moore and JSN for Gibbs, T-Mac, and Olave. So the interesting part about this is DJ Moore is not a startable name. You are getting Jahmyr Gibbs, you're getting T-Mac, you're getting Olave. Losing JSN is tough, I'm not going to lie. But I feel like there's enough here to make this move. You still have Brian Thomas, Sutton, T-Mac, Olave. That's not bad. Look, losing JSN is going to hurt. But I think you're buying Jahmyr Gibbs at a very low point. So, yeah, I think I'm fine with this deal. What's up, Leon? He says, half PPR options with and without Evans, please. No worries, sirs. I got you. So, Baker Mayfield, Gibbs, Rachaad White. Obviously, if Evans plays, we're playing Mike Evans. If not, we'll go through that. Bowers won't play today or this week. I was hoping Auten was going to be my flex in the Flock League. But it looks like Evans is going to play. That makes Auten less interesting to me. And maybe Egbuka plays. At your flex spot, this would be Sutton. But assuming there is no Mike Evans, then you put Sutton at receiver. And in your flex, I'm going to go Olave. Thanks for the question. Messy language. We're going to start Baker Mayfield here at running back. You can't sit Achane. You can't sit Javonte. At receiver, you've got JSN Smith-Johnston. At tight end, a lot of options here. I'm probably going Fannin unless the weather is absolutely bonkers. Then you can go Waller. And in your last flex spot, this is likely going to be Vidal for me, and it is. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the question. What's up, Daniel? I think Daniel's our #1 supporter this month. Is that correct? Let's see. Yes, Daniel is still in first. Shout out to you, my dude. Appreciate you for supporting the channel, keeping the lights on. He says, A.O. Manor, Tez, Booty, or someone else. Can't start Seattle running backs. Please look at waivers. Daniel, when you submit a super message, we cannot look at... We don't have access to your waivers, right? So when you guys go into the site and you click super message, all you're doing is sending us text. That's it. We don't have any other information, right? But if I had to choose between all these names, if you're telling me that you have Ken Walker, I would still start Ken Walker over all these options. However, I think Booty would be my next play, but I don't have confidence in really any of those names. No, it would be Ellick. I would go Ellick with no Ridley. Oh, that's not fun though, is it? Yeah, no, that's a good point, Mike. I forgot about that. So, yeah, I guess we're going Ellick. That's not fun though. A-Rod starting Stafford. At running back, this is Marks for me, and I wish you the best of luck as someone else who's starting Marks as well, myself. At your flex, obviously Ladd is one of the best options there, and then between Otten and Shaheed, the Saints play the Bears, right? And all reports are that the weather is going to be rough, so I'm not sure you're going to want to play a deep threat like Shaheed this week. I think Otten's probably your safest play there. All right, Salomon is starting Dak at running back. This is going to be Kamara for me. At receiver, Keenan's the only option. Yeah, nobody else is playing. At the flex spot, another person playing Woody Marks, and I apologize in advance if it doesn't work out. Godspeed. Godspeed. This should be a more competitive matchup for Woody Marks. He should be more needed in this offense this week. That's all I'll say. Ramen God is starting Carson Wentz in a super flex league along with Bo Nix because they have Josh Allen on bye. They've got Judkins, Genty, Collins. Between Adunze and Rice, I'm probably going to lean Adunze there. And then in your flex, I probably put Rice, which means we're sitting JCM, which is painful. And I'm so sorry if it's the wrong call. I just don't want to sit Rashee Rice. Look, I think you can make a case that JCM has a safer floor, but even last week, my concern with JCM, and I'm still playing him because the matchup is so good. But now my concern with JCM is like, what receiver is out there that's going to stop Dallas from stacking the box? I don't know anymore. It's frustrating. That failed to upload, so let's just quickly reset here. And while I'm doing that, again, I appreciate y'all big time for being here with me. We are doing a giveaway today. All you have to do to enter is like the stream and type week 7 into the chat. And once we reach 100 likes, I will go ahead and raffle off some vouchers. Ramen God said he saw it. Okay, awesome. Appreciate you, Ramen God. Okay. 13 is starting Nix, Genty, Dobbins at receiver. If Igbuka plays, Igbuka. If not, it's got to be Bourne. You don't have another option. At tight end, I think Ertz is a must-play now. In fact, I need to go update my tight end rankings because Ertz is going to be one of the better plays at the tight end spot this week. Let's see. Ertz. We originally had him at 15. I will probably put him... I'd probably play him over Kelsey. Would I play Ertz over Goddard? I don't think I could do that, but definitely over Kelsey. So probably my tight end 8 this week. Just that matchup, that over-under. They got to throw to somebody. At your flex spot, another person that has to start Woody Marks. And I can relate to all of you guys. I also have to start Woody Marks. So I just want to apologize in advance if things don't go well. Because there's a very realistic chance that things don't go well. Now, again, assuming that Igbuka, then, you know, if Igbuka's not out there, you start Bourne. And then your last flex spot would end up being, it'd be between Taylor and Fannin. Taylor and Fannin. Right now I have Fannin. Well, I'm going to have to move Otten down, unfortunately. Right now I lean Taylor slightly, which makes sense because there's no one else to throw to, but with the Njoku news, I feel like that bumps Fannin up for me. Look, if the weather is chaos, then you can start Taylor, but I'll lean Fannin given that there's no one else to throw to there either. What's up, Bird Gang says, or should I keep him and looking to improve tight end and running back? So they would send away Igbuka for Ferguson and Montgomery. Yeah, not a fan of this. I do like Montgomery for sure, but when Igbuka is healthy, you're sending away a premier player for 2 players that are all right. I just don't like that. Let's see. Oh, shoot, sorry. So right now you got Hunter Henry, and you really don't have an RB2. I understand why you'd want to do this. I mean, if you're a competitive team and you've already got a decent record, can you go stash Trey Benson? Because that's a starter for you when he's back. I don't love this. I don't love this. I feel like it needs to be Brees. If you're going to do it, it needs to be Brees. But even then, I'm not in love with it, honestly, dude. Maybe I would be in love with it if it was Brees, Baker, and then you sent back Herbert. But I understand. I just feel like Egbuka's got to have more value than that, right? Surely. All right, sorry. You're going to hear a weird sound. That's me just moving my standing desk down because it's time to sit. Surely there's a better offer for Egbuka out there. All right, Sidekick Kid. Full PPR, debating who to start. Also, which are stashable? Coker or Kendre Miller? Need to drop one. Well, Kendre Miller... Look, Kendre Miller's not going to be startable unless an injury happens to Kamara. And Kamara's not getting traded. So, if either of these guys, in my opinion, are going to increase their value, it's probably Coker. And that's... unless Kamara gets injured, but I can't really project that. So I would say I would stash Coker right now. But in a 10 team, you can go get Kamara later or Kendre later. Between Herbert, Stafford, and Nix, it's either Herbert or Nix. And I am rocking with Herbert in that high over under. Taylor Warren at receiver. Probably going to put Devonta Smith in there. Don't love it. Yeah, we're going Devonta. It's tough, man. Tough decisions there. All right, that's the lineup we're going with. All right, guys, I appreciate you for being here with me. You know, just a warning. My throat's killing me. All I do is talk in this season. All I do is talk. I make 6 videos a week, and then we stream 6 times a week. All I do is talk, and then when I'm not doing this, obviously I'm talking to my friends and my family. So I'm going to put this in. I apologize. No, it's not candy. It's so my throat doesn't get destroyed. All right? People keep commenting, why is Zach eating candy on stream? I'm not eating candy. All right? Okay. Simon, full PPR. Luke McCaffrey versus Dallas, Whittington, or Shepard. Yeah. Shepard was only interesting if Mike Evans and Egbuka were out, but oh, let's poll the chat here. Let's help people out, okay? You gotta choose one of these names: Luke McCaffrey, Jordan Whittington, which is probably where I would lean, but I want to hear you guys' opinions. You know what? Styles actually gave the right answer there. He said the answer is good luck. Okay, Luke McCaffrey makes the most sense based off of matchup. But can I tell you my problem with Luke McCaffrey? I don't know if Luke McCaffrey is the guy you even play of that wide receiver room. I have no idea. Could it be Chris Moore? Yeah, maybe. Could it be Jalen Lane, the rookie? Maybe. It could be. Maybe. I don't know. Just maybe. It might be. I don't know. With Shepard, there's... The problem with Shepard is, first off, if Mike Evans is back, and it looks like he is, then you can't trust Sterling Shepard. These young receivers looked good, and Tez Johnson, the rookie. Cameron Johnson looked pretty good as well. So even if Mike Evans wasn't playing, you're not sure which of these receivers are startable. Although they're all flexible names. And again, I know I brought them in a video, but that was with the understanding that Mike Evans wouldn't be out there. Man. Okay. The chat, by a overwhelming 64% of the votes, are saying Luke McCaffrey, Simon. 65% now are saying Luke McCaffrey. So that's what I'm going to tell you to do. Good luck. Tommy says, want to start Waddle, but the weather worries me. Ooh, that's very good for me, actually. Actually, guys, my matchup this week, I'm just realizing this. He's got Waddle versus Cleveland. He's got Fannin versus Miami. Ooh. Okay. Come on, weather. Come on. Whatever people out there are controlling the weather, let's make it crazy in Cleveland this weekend, please. Yes, Mike, I did. I sent away Puka for London and Jaden Daniels. It hurt my heart, but I had to do it. Okay, so at running back, Rashad White for sure. Jason Olave, and then in your flex, yeah, look, Waddle would make the most sense if the weather's not a problem. But assuming the weather is an issue, I would probably go... Man, those guys like Marv, A.J. Brown are just so close. I think I lean Marvin there. Your What Hurts says, flex, Monty, or Mason. Any help appreciated. Appreciate you, man. So Monty or Mason? Monty, for sure. Yeah. Look, I like Mason, but he's more of a desperation, tight end play. And Monty is, we've seen him blow up this year, and they're talking about wanting to give him the ball more. Robga is starting May at running back. Judkins has got to be in play versus Miami. You got Rashee Rice back. Hawkinson or Fannin. I lean Hawkinson slightly this week, I believe. I do. It's very close. The weather is definitely playing a part there. If the weather was clear, I'd go Fannin. At the flex, well, you can't sit Nico Collins. But can you sit Rashad White? I can't sit Nico Collins. I'm starting Nico Collins. It's a good matchup, too. Okay. Madrid CR7 starting Knicks. Ooh. Oh, my God. Well, here's what you can do, Madrid. You can start Pacheco and have the expectation that things don't go well. Or you can start Henderson, and we can all lie to ourselves that maybe this is the game that Henderson breaks out. Because that feels like a weekly occurrence at this point. Now, I prefer to lie to myself. I think I prefer to lie to myself. Do I really, though? Do I really? Would I really not start Pacheco here? Ooh, I think I might go Pacheco. Versus the Raiders. Oh, that's crazy. Crazy eights. Fantasy football this year is crazy, dude. Very few things are certain. Very, very few things are certain in fantasy this year. We'll go Pacheco. At your tight end, well, you can't sit Tucker Kraft. Yeah, I like the lineup. Again, guys, appreciate y'all for being here with us. I have good news. We're closing in on our light goal. The light goal is 100. And when we reach 100, we will do our giveaway. All you got to do to enter is like the stream and type week 7 into the chat. That's as simple as it gets. Now, if you guys are seeing me answer fantasy football questions and you're like, wait, I want to be a part of that. Well, there's a couple ways. You can check out the pinned comment in the chat. That's an easy way. Just make sure you submit with Zach and Badaki with Fantasyland. The other way is by becoming a season pass member with the promo code LAND. That's a $34 one-time purchase when you use my code LAND. You're going to get access to the trade calculator, all the premium tools on the Flock site, all the weekly rest of season rankings as soon as they're submitted. And you also get access to some vouchers to have me answer some questions about your fantasy team on stream. So just make sure you use the code LAND if you're considering that. And to anybody who buys that on the stream right now, by the way, I'm going to go ahead and double your vouchers. So if you end up buying the season pass, we're going to give you 4 vouchers instead of 2 today. So I'll be on the lookout to see any new usernames that buy the season pass. And you can let me know in the chat if you do. I'll double your vouchers. Okay. Brent is able is starting Baker, Warren, Judkins, Nico Sutton, Kittle at the flex spot. Yeah, wow. I guess you got to start Laporta there. Honestly, thank God Kittle's back for you, my friend, because Laporta is clearly your best flex. Yep, that worked out well. Sam Stu says, need an emergency start at flex with Debo and Puka now out, looking at a safest floor. Okay. Mahomes, Rattler. Yeah, with no Purdy. Javonte Ginty. A lot of great names in this lineup. Safest floor, you said. Dynasty League. Oh, my God. No way Luke Farrell is rostered. You said safest floor. Wow. I'm looking at nobody who has a safe floor here. I mean, Kareem, maybe, but they're starting to kind of, I'm not going to say like cycle him out, but his snap percentage is dropping and usage is dropping in each of the last 3 weeks. I'll be honest with you. None of these guys have a safe floor. None of the guys that you have here have a safe floor. Is Jerry's not playing, right? He's injured, or am I making that up? No, he's ready to go. I probably put Jerry Judy out there. Some answers you can't say with your chest. Some answers you have to whisper. So I think I would probably start Jerry Judy here, but I don't like it at all. I don't. Jerry Judy. We'll go Jerry. All right. It's Josh. Says, hey, Zach, any advice on acquiring a running back? All right, so you would send away Trevor Lawrence. Well, maybe you're just trying to have me look at your team, but I can promise you Trevor Lawrence is not going to get you a running back in return. So your team name is Rumman CTE. I don't know what your record is, but if you want to get a running back, you probably need to utilize your wide receiver room to do so. I would also say that I'd probably roster Bashul Tutin in this league. Your waiver wire is very friendly to receivers. It's not as friendly to running backs. So if Travis Etienne, and we don't wish this upon him, but if he went down with an injury, then you would really regret not rostering him over like having a Booty, for example. So that's probably the first step. But if you wanted to make a trade, ideally you find a wide receiver weak team. Like the guy that has DJ Moore, Keon, and Mooney outside of T-Mac and Ladd. And you tell that guy, hey, I'll give you Rashee Rice. Oh, wow. He's only got... Okay, what about JCM? Could you send him like Jameson for JCM? If you want one of those top names like Taylor or McCaffrey, you're going to have to offer London or Amon-Ra. So that could work. This guy's probably fine. His room isn't that great. The guy at the bottom of the league rankings here is Johnston. He has no running backs that are interesting, though. The guy who has Cam Skataboo and Jahmyr Gibbs. Could you go buy Jahmyr Gibbs on a low? Could you give him Bam Knight and Rashee Rice for Jahmyr Gibbs? Or maybe just Rice for Gibbs straight up. that would be, I think, a move you could consider. And then no matter what happens in Detroit, you've got the Stars. Those are a couple options. You're not going to sell a London or an Amon-Ra or a Rice unless you get a really good running back, though. So don't undersell them. Those are some options there. Appreciate you, man. All right. People are saying we reached our like goal. Is that right? Is that right? Okay. That is right. We definitely reached our like goal. So here's what I'm going to tell you. I'll do 2 more questions, and then we're going to do this first giveaway of the day. So this is your last chance to enter the first giveaway. All you got to do to enter is like the stream and type week 7 into the chat, all one word. 65 of you are currently entered. I will go out on a limb and say it's probably going to be over 80 once people realize this is our last chance to enter. So this is your last chance to enter. We'll do a couple more of these questions here. Brent is able. Is starting Herbert, Saquon, Warren at receiver. Ooh, do not envy you at all. I don't think Jennings is playing with a broken rib. He says he's good to go. That's crazy. I mean, Jennings versus Atlanta. I probably would go Jennings here. I hate all your options though. And then you're flexing Travis Etienne. Yeah. I'm sorry, dude. I really don't like your options, but I feel like Jennings. Man, that broken rib, though. Yeah. I still think it's Jennings for me there. Not fun. Not a doctor. Not a doctor. All right, Silver Falcon, what's up, man? He won the giveaway, actually, last time out. But he's starting Daniels, Taylor, Warren at receiver. It'll be a Dunze and Brian. At tight end. Ooh, this is an interesting one. I don't think Kincaid. Well, Kincaid's on bye. Yeah, this has to be Michael Mayer, actually. With no Bowers. At the flex spot, Worthy is the Lamb. And then. Is Romeo Dobbs the best option after that? It's either Dobbs or Marks or Bam. It's either Dobbs, Marks, or Bam. I think it's between Marks and Dobbs. I think I would probably lean Dobbs slightly. They fear Mike. Is starting Lawrence. Lamar's on bye. Well, let's start Jalen Hurts and Bo Nix, not Trevor Lawrence if we can. Then CMC Kamara at receiver. A lot of great options here, so we'll go with Dunze. We'll go Sutton. We'll go Zay's on bye. Probably Johnston next. At tight end, it looks like you got to start 2. Well, you're starting Kittle. You're starting Kelsey or Fannin if the weather is completely clear. And in your last flex spot, it's Addison. It's Addison. Yeah, Addison for me. Thanks for the question, good sir. Okay, we're at 83 entries. Let's do the giveaway. Let's do the first one. Again, all you had to do to enter was type week 7 into the chat and like the stream. So let's do the first one, which will be a start sit voucher. And the Emmy goes to King Quay. King Quay, if that is you out there, my friend, all you got to do is DM me on Discord. Send me a screenshot of your YouTube account. And there's my username in the chat. And then tell me your Flock Fantasy username. Now, friends, if you're out there and you don't have a Flock Fantasy username or an account just yet, you can create one completely free. The My Teams feature is one of those cool free features we have. Just make sure you're using the code LAND at sign up. That way I can find you on the back end. You know, and you're able to see all these features. Okay, that was the start sit. And let me just write your name down so I don't forget. It was King Quay. And then the trade question voucher is going to The Emmy goes to... How many times can you use the same joke? Andrek Galvis. Andrek Galvis. I mean, that sounds made up, but it's not, I promise. Andrek is pretty unique. I've never heard of Andrek. But appreciate you, man. Same exact thing I just told King Quay. Appreciate you big time, my dude. All right, we'll do another giveaway if we reach 200 likes. So, still possible, and I guess we're not that far off. You guys are crazy. All Primos is sending away Judkins and JCM for Pacheco and Adunze. No, thank you. No, thank you. It's Dynasty. Well, does that change anything? I just don't want Pacheco in Dynasty, man. Wow, that's such an interesting question in Dynasty. I don't want Isaiah Pacheco. I think Adunze and Rome are close in value. Yeah, we're gonna keep the side that we have. I mean, if you're looking for a counter, like Benson at minimum, even that's probably not enough. I'd say you're like a Benson and a second away from getting closer in value there if he has a second round pick in Dynasty, like a rookie draft, but I'm not obsessed with that one. Okay, Brando sending away Dowdle and McBride for Gibbs. Ooh, well, it's a 1 quarterback, 10 team, start 7. If you send away McBride, you got Goddard. I'd rather use Goddard, man. I'd rather use Goddard. Package Goddard and Rico, and what can you get? Package Goddard and Jordan Mason, what can you get? In such a small league, I'd rather not lose that tight end advantage that you have. But Jahmyr Gibbs is so valuable. I don't know, guys. What do we think? I'm starting to rethink this one, actually. Because he does have Goddard. I'm starting to rethink this a little bit. Well, if they're going to do that trade, can they send you Hawkinson back? Hard to say no to Jahmyr Gibbs, right? I mean, first off, you don't need to roster 3 quarterbacks, my friend. You can let go of Trevor Lawrence. Stash someone else that has upside. I would probably do this, actually. Yeah, I probably would do it. I mean, try and see if you can get something else thrown in there, like a Hawkinson. But, yeah, I'm probably fine with it. I'd first just see what Goddard and Rico gets me, but... Okay, Dynasty, where I have serious injuries, you would send away McMillan and Kittle for Bowers and Algier. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Love Brock Bowers. I'm not trying to undervalue him, but I'm not sending away Kittle and McMillan. I'm not really sure if I had Bowers, if I could sell him for McMillan right now in Dynasty. So I think what you're trying to do is like get off of Kittle's points, if I'm not mistaken. Like maybe you're trying to rebuild or something. If you're not, then there's no way you do this deal. The McMillan and Kittle side win by far. But also, if you're trying to rebuild, you're not giving away T-Mac. I'm not a fan of this, to be honest, dude. Probably need a first-round pick back if you're doing a deal like this at minimum. I don't like it. IE. Sending away Caleb. Or, sorry, not sending away. Starting Caleb, Bijan, Judkins, Nico, London, Warren, Rashad, Adunze. Okay. I'd love to start George Kittle, but I don't know where you start him. You can't sit Tyler Warren with the streak that he's got and the matchup he's got. Sucks that you didn't get Warren's points, but at the same time, I wouldn't have started him over any of those names before Thursday night. I think I had him like RB17, which we liked him, but not over Judkins and Bijan. Yeah, I'm not starting Dowdle over these names with Hubbard healthy. And then I guess, like, would you start Kittle or Rashad or Odunze? I'm probably still putting Kittle on the bench. That's painful. What you should probably do, my friend, is shop Tyler Warren or George Kittle before the week begins. And let's go package Rashad White and George Kittle. Or Rico Dowdle and George Kittle. And let's go get a real, upgrade to our flex. Some superstar receiver. What's up, the Ontario Lions? What's up, man? He says, go Higgins. No, Kirk. Yes, dude. I want it. I need it. I need it like I need air. I need a Jaden Higgins breakout week like I need air itself. Jaden, I'm looking you straight in the eyes right now. I drafted you in the 8th round. Right now, I look like a dumbass, Jaden. I look like a dumbass. You can change that. You can change that. Okay, he says leave 2 in. I know it's bad, but I'm 2 and 4, need upside. Hey man, let's turn this around. Let's get a win here. So Goff, Swift, Scats. Those are your best options. T-Mac. Yeah, if Ibuka plays, wow. I see the predicament you're in. You thought Terry was gonna be back too. Wow, that sucks, man. Look. Yeah, monthly doesn't come with vouchers, guys. It says that on the website. You'll never see it including vouchers for monthly. Ibuka. Yeah, if Ibuka plays, obviously you start him. If not, I probably would just put Jaden Higgins out there and hope for the best. I probably would. McBride and then Vidal. Yes, Vidal. That's probably where I would go. Look, you said you're in a start 9, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I only see a start 7. Is it a start 7 or a start 9? Is it Superflex? Because you've filled it out as if it's... Is Ontario Lions in the chat? Is Ontario Lions in the chat? Let's see. Give me 1 second, y'all. While I'm waiting to see if Ontario's here, I'm just going to try and give these guys vouchers if they're LAN members. Okay, so XQ, I'm going to have to DM the devs because you're not under code land. And what was yours? You were King K. And we gave you a star sit. And the other person that messaged. Okay, let's see. If you're a land, promo code land, sign up. I can give you this now. Otherwise, the devs are going to have to find you. Okay, so devs are going to have to find you, my friend. Let's see. Okay, so no Ontario Lions in the chat. That's okay. Look, yeah, if Igbuka's not out there, I just think you're throwing Jaden Higgins in and hoping for the post-buy breakout. If it is a super flex league, hopefully you already started Aaron Rodgers. And if you need another flex, then we're probably putting Kyle there if Swift doesn't play. And if Swift does play, we're going to put Henderson in there and hope for the best. Appreciate you, man. What's up, Bajords? Sending away Woody, Amon-Ra, Egbuka for Gibbs, Hubbard, Jefferson. Okay. So Amon-Ra, Gibbs are pretty much even in value. So I'm only doing this counter so I can think through it logically in my mind, the way I think things through. So then I'm asking myself, Marks and Egbuka or Jefferson and Hubbard? And honestly, it's pretty close. Jefferson's already had his bye. He's not got any injury that he's dealing with. I love Woody though, but right now I would prefer Hubbard. So I'm fine. I'm fine to take the side that you're getting. I'm fine with that, honestly. What's up, Mike? He's starting Mahomes, Judkins, Kamara, Adunze, Jefferson. We're gonna start Marvin there. And wow, so you have no flex, Mike? No flex, huh? No flex zone. But that's the lineup I like the best. Appreciate you, Mike. You said no, I messed it up. Well, did you have any other options in flex? Was your flex option Marvin and someone else other than the receivers? One running back, one wide receiver, one tight end, 3 flexes. Okay. Well, what I imagine if you're starting Kamara, you don't have better flex options than your receivers anyway, right? Yeah, I'm not starting Woody Pacheco over your receivers, so it's still the same answer. It just looks a little bit different. All right, let's refresh here. Let's refresh here. All right, we're getting close to caught up. Appreciate y'all. A Cordova says Harrison, Tet, Luke, or Vidal for flex full PPR. This would be Tetaroa. This would be Tetaroa for me. But it's very close. If I knew Vidal, again, this is why I can't rank Vidal too high. But if I knew he was going to get all the work like he did last week, then he would be my answer. But I just don't know that for sure. CJ is starting CJ because Lamar on bye. At running back, this would be Etienne. Not a great matchup, but he's your best option. Oh my God, look at these receivers. Swing low, sweet chariots. Yeah, we're starting all these dudes. Rasheed, Adams, Nico. And then in your flex, I would absolutely despise having Johnston and Keenan on the same team. You're never going to know which one to play. You should definitely look at trading one of those names. Whatever gets you the most value. But in your last flex, I think it's probably Swift for me. The way he's been playing. The way they changed their run scheme. Thanks for the question, man. Ebusk says, considering Luke McCaffrey, also please help land. Well, I think before I answer the question, when you're telling me you're considering Luke McCaffrey, what you really need help with is emotional support. So I just want to sit here and relate to you. Say, I understand the pain, my friend. I understand. I'm starting Woody Marks in the Flock League. Maybe Kate Otten. I don't know yet. If Mike is out, it's Kate Otten. So here's your emotional support. That's the help that I can give you right now. However, we're going to start Marvin, obviously. So right now, if I'm reading this correctly, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, you're between Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce. Wow. I don't envy you, my dude. Why is everyone excited about Alec Pierce? Is it because of the Josh Downs stuff? Someone tell me what I'm missing. I don't see Alec Pierce's role changing with Josh Downs. See, okay, Sleeper saying he's in for a bigger role with Josh Downs having the concussion. That's not going to change his reps at all. He's not going to get slot work. Unless I'm mistaken, I've never seen him play in the slot. I'd still play Jameson over him for sure. Yeah, look, the way I would rock with this is probably Henderson in the flex, Jameson over Alec Pierce. The good, most likely outcome here, and it's not good, but the most likely outcome is Henderson does not break out. But do I want to throw Alec Pierce in there? I don't know. Probably not, man. Probably not. as far as Luke, we talked about this earlier. And yeah, I mean, it's just I don't think Jaden Daniels knows yet which receiver he's going to target the most this week between Chris Moore, Luke McCaffrey, and Jalen Lane. I don't think he knows. So I would still rather put Henderson in there and start Jameson. And obviously I can't guarantee what the outcomes will be, but there's just too many unknowns. Yeah, like you could totally start Luke McCaffrey and wow, Luke McCaffrey had 7 targets and has a touchdown. You could start Luke McCaffrey and it could be Chris Moore. It could be Jalen Lane. There's just too many unknowns there. And I don't want to ride that train. What's up, B-Wiki? If you use the code LAND and you became either a season pass member or an annual Motherflocker member, you would already have vouchers in your account. But if you're telling me that you just signed up for a free account, I'm not giving out free vouchers if you just sign up for a free account. You know, we've got a lot of questions each stream that we're trying to get through. So shout out to everybody supporting the show, though. Drake May Scattaboo Jacobs. You can enter the giveaway, of course. You can enter the giveaway if that's what you're asking about. Okay, so you're in a tough spot here, Dan. You lost Puka Nacua for the week, Debo for the week. You lost. Well, no Godwin. Man, does Dan have to start DJ Moore? I don't think so. I'd probably start Matthew Golden over DJ right now. Let me double check my weekly rankings though. Golden. I technically have DJ ranked ahead. That just feels wrong. That just doesn't feel right. Oh my gosh. Wide receiver rankings after like 32 are hell. I got to move Sterling Shepard down. Wow, wow, wow. It's a wild, wild west out here. I probably would start Matthew Golden over DJ Moore. This is the first question I've had this week with those two names. And then you've got Kamara in your flex. That's good. And your last flex is between Bam Knight. Look, you don't have a good option here. But Bam Knight's going to touch the ball more than anybody else. It's a terrible matchup for him, but that's probably where I would lean. You're not in an envious position this week. But at least you started T. Higgins. That's a good start. Yes, guys, so if you want to enter the giveaway, all you got to do is type week 7 into the chat and like the stream. And if we reach 200 likes, I'll do another giveaway for y'all. I think we're already at 150, so not far off. Okay. Bajord says, you saw my trade as redraft when it was Dynasty. All right, give me a second. Let's see. Give me 1 minuto. I gotta go to completed now and just see. I'll get back to that after this question. Des says, I miss Puka, Whittington, Tez, and Washington wide receivers on waiver wire. There was a comma there, and I didn't read the comma. My bad. Between Chuba and the Seahawks receivers, I'm probably going Chuba. Here's the thing. I feel confident, and I could be wrong because, let's be honest, every week in fantasy football so far, there's been something that we're all confident in, and it doesn't pan out that way. But I feel confident today that between Chuba and between Ken and Zach Charbonnet, I don't think that role changes, but there is a chance that Chuba is more involved than people want to admit. I'll go Hubbard there. It's so close though. And then at the flex, my God, bless your heart. We'll go Kendrick. I thought that was Kendrick Bourne. Sorry, that's Kayshon Boutte. I'm an idiot. Wow. Yeah. I mean, I guess. Are we starting both Seahawks receivers here? Our running backs? Oh my gosh. Are we really doing that? You can't start RJ, Brian, Carter, Pearsall, Puka. Oh my gosh, dude. Wow. This might be the most down bad lineup we've had to set this week. I'm so sorry. This is tough. Look, I mean, I really loved Boutte after week 1. I thought he was going to be integral to their offense, and then he disappeared for 4 weeks, and then he comes out and has 2 touchdowns. I just don't feel like the Patriots receivers on a week-to-week basis have any consistency. If you're shooting for upside, I mean, look, to be fair, like, this is a roster. He says Jordan Whittington's on the waiver. I probably would just put Whittington into my lineup here. I probably would, dude. Of course, if Mike Evans isn't there and Igbuka, then you could play Otton. But this is one of those lineups where it's like, hey, man, you got to try something different. You got to get unique. I probably would go and put Jordan Whittington in over Zach Charbonnet. That is hard, and I don't envy your position, and I am sorry you're in it. Bajords, his trade, did I view it as Dynasty? Yeah, I viewed... Okay, right, I hear you. Bajords, if you're in the chat... Well, Dynasty doesn't change much for me, honestly. I would still have the same answer there. I'd still be fine to take the side that you're getting, right? I mean, Jefferson, between him and Amon-Ra, I think people still prefer Jefferson in Dynasty. Between Gibbs and Igbuka, I still think people prefer Gibbs, even though Igbuka is awesome. And then Marks and Chuba is kind of a toss, but I think people probably prefer Chuba in Dynasty still. Still the same answer, but yeah. Dan, starting Hurts, Achane, Etienne, Lamb, Olave, McBride at the flexes. Right. Ladd, McConkey, I see as an option. It's probably Ladd. Just looking at all the names. I think this is probably Ladd and Montgomery for me, but let me just double check. There's nobody else. Yep, Ladd and Montgomery for me. Which isn't too bad, honestly. That's not a bad lineup there. What's up, Wes? Dropping Ferg for Ertz. Do not drop Jake Ferguson, please. For the love of God. Please do not drop Jake Ferguson. Please. No, do not do that. And then hope Evans is healthy. Just got Achane, McCaffrey at receiver. Look, let's just pretend Evans is playing. This would be Evans and Sutton for me. And then at your third receiver spot, we would go McMillan. At your flex, ooh, yeah. Between Etienne and Marvin Harrison, it's very close, but I'll probably lean Etienne just with the guaranteed touches that he should see. But yeah, please do not drop Jake Ferguson. For the love of God, no. No. You're dropping a top 4 to 5 tight end rest of season for a streamable tight end this week. Love Ertz this week, but no, don't do that. Put that thing back where it came from. Marcel, help me. So help me. Big Tech says, reason I'm considering Mims. My league counts return yards. His last 4 outings. Okay. So you're considering Marvin Mims in the flex. So we are thinking about return yards. Then it's not crazy. Are you telling me then that he probably, so he had, look, the most Marvin Mims is going to give you is an extra 3 points, right? Like 10 yards, 10 return yards is 1 fantasy point. Is that right? If I'm understanding that correctly. So that doesn't make a huge impact, but it does matter. obviously, like, you're accounting for the fact that Mims could return it for a touchdown. But Mims is just, I don't know. That floor is just so low. That is so low. Do you get punt and yeah, wow. I mean, look, I get where you're coming from. I'm probably still starting Woody, but if I'm not understanding the return yardage enough and it is going to make a big impact, then I'm fine to go Mims, but that floor is just so low for him. Sorry you're missing Puka. Not fun. All right. Are we close to caught up here? Are we close to caught up? Let's see. Okay, we've got one more trade question, and then we've got some team reviews I have to get to before the week ends, which will be today for us. Des129 says 1 in 5 thoughts on Cam rest of season. What do you guys think? Cam have any thoughts on him rest of season? You think any clubs in New York or some thoughties might get on him? No league tight end. No tight end league. Small bench. So you tend to weigh Walker and Scatterboo for Adunze and Addison. Adunze and Walker's pretty much a wash. And then Scatterboo and Adunze, I mean, this is about as even as a trade gets, honestly. The benefit for you as a 1 in 5 team is that you can start Addison and Adunze every week now, right? Because they've already had their bye. Losing Scatterboo is tough, though. Is there a Rico Dowdle guy out there? Well, you're getting a 2 for 2. I was going to say Woody Marks is on the waivers. Can you just pick him up for free as well? Look. Wow, that's a tough one, guys. That's a really tough one. I think I'm fine to do this trade. At least you're getting rid of Ken Walker for something usable. Of course, there's always a possibility that the Seahawks wake up and they say, oh, actually, yeah, Ken Walker is our best player in the backfield. Let's feature him. And if they do that, then that would be obviously very disappointing for you. But I think this is a pretty fair trade. I would love to try and counter by, you know, using Rico in a trade to someone. Can you package Rico and Scatterboo? For example, if you sent Rico and Scatterboo, would they be willing to give you Devontae Adams and Adunze? I'm just thinking about all your options here. But ultimately, as a 1 in 5 team, you're getting 2 guys you can start every week. For guys that still need to have their buys, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. All right. I think that's all the questions on the Flock site, which means I can get to some team reviews. I do appreciate y'all for being here with me. If you want to submit your question and you just feel like you need an answer, then you can do that with a link that's in the pinned comment. I just realized that I have a poll up for 45 minutes about Luke McCaffrey. My gosh. Here's what I want to do. I want to ask you guys a question about my Flock League team. Who would you guys start? Woody Marks, K. Dotton. Let's just assume that Mike Evans is playing, by the way. Or let's say Luke McCaffrey. And I'm going to go blow my nose real fast and come right back, okay? So, intermission. I just thought about how funny it would be if someone clicked on this stream and the first thing they saw was just an empty chair. Wow, really, guys? Okay, hold on. The chat, are y'all serious? The chat right now, wow. Really? Wow. 47% of you guys are starting Luke McCaffrey? That is a lot of trust, y'all. Maybe I'm crazy. I feel like this is very insightful, but it's also making me double question everything in my life. 45% of you feel like Luke McCaffrey is the best option. What's so tough about that question is, if I knew who the wide receiver 1 was in Washington, then of course I would start them. But I feel like far too many of you guys are assuming Luke McCaffrey is the guy to start. Why the confidence in Luke? I don't understand. You could start Luke and it could be Chris Moore or it could be Jalen Lane. All it could go to Zach Ertz. Some of y'all got some explaining to do in the chat. Why Luke McCaffrey? Why so confidently Luke McCaffrey? 48% of you. Is it just like the way TG is saying this is it's just a vibe? I don't know, man. Just have fun, Luke. I mean, this is exactly my opinion, Blue. I mean, y'all got a lot of confidence in Luke McCaffrey. I mean, maybe look, like I keep saying, I can totally see the possibility of what everybody here is saying. Like, Zach, of course Luke McCaffrey could have a good week. I agree. Of course he could. But man, y'all got some confidence. Y'all got some confidence now. You got some confidence for a guy who hasn't had over 3 targets his entire career. You are confidently starting a player that their career high is 3 targets. Man. Okay. Maybe. I think some of y'all are bugging, but I could be wrong. Look, and Lions is saying I could pick up Luke right now. Look, the chat is telling you to. I don't have that same exact confidence, but that is true though. Like having the stack of JD and Luke would be fun. Why is no one even considering Woody Marks though? That's what I think is crazy. Have I lost my mind? Why is no one even considering Woody Marks here at 24% of the vote? I just don't understand that. He led the running back room in snaps before they took out the starters. Woody is a bust. Okay. You guys are telling me Woody is a bust, and you're telling me to start a guy that's only had 3 targets ever as a high in his career. Woody Marks might have 3 targets. Y'all are crazy. Y'all just made my week way more difficult. Okay, look. If we do get to 200 likes, I'll do another giveaway. Already told y'all that. So for anybody who's just joining us, y'all know now. All you got to do to enter is type week 7, all one word. I've yet to hear a take from someone that's convinced me why you guys are all so high on Luke, but I'll be scrolling the chat and trying to see. I kind of agree, Trenton. I kind of agree. I feel like what I'm not understanding is like this game for Marks feels like the game you use Woody Marks against a Seattle Seahawks team that is looking incredibly good, pretty difficult to run against. Doesn't seem like a Nick Chubb game to me. I think the Texans are going to be down. It's in Seattle. This feels like a game where Woody Marks gets 3 or more targets at least. And if you're telling me that's what Luke's career high is, that's what I'm struggling to believe at. But yeah, if you look at Woody Marks' game before the bye, he led all running backs in snaps before they pulled the starters. I feel like that's beyond the box score. And I agree. I mean, that would be in favor of Woody, but I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to waste anyone's time. I'm struggling with that decision in my own league. And I was not even thinking Luke McCaffrey. But here's, like, guys, if you're making any argument that's based in the Cowboys are bad, that argument also goes for Chris Moore. That argument also goes for Jalen Lane. That argument doesn't just go for Luke McCaffrey. We have nothing to tell us that he is the number one receiver. I mean, if we're making this case, why is everybody not excited about Chris Moore then? Chris Moore has played over 50% of the snaps in every game since week 3. Luke McCaffrey hasn't played over 50% of the snaps in any game this year. So if everybody is so aggressively excited about Luke McCaffrey, why are you not excited about Chris Moore? What am I misunderstanding? Genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, what am I misunderstanding? I mean, Luke McCaffrey didn't even play more snaps than Jalen Lane last week. I don't know. Yes, but 22 yards a catch is not something that's replicable or something. That's not like a sticky stat. You can't be like, well, every time he catches the ball, it'll be that long. I don't know. I just don't think that's... I would much rather trust snap rate and target share than a yards per catch number. That's not sticky enough for me. And again, I'm telling you guys, I could totally see a scenario where Luke McCaffrey is great. But all of your arguments apply to other guys who are already more involved in the offense. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. That could be the case. I could be crazy. I mean, yeah, Mike, I could see Luke McCaffrey having 7 targets. I could see him having 2. I could see Chris Moore having 7 targets. I could see him having 2. I could see Jalen Lane having 7 targets. I could see him having 2. I could see them all having 2, and Zach Ertz has 12. Jeremy McNichols has 5. I'm a Commanders fan, and I don't know a ball. And your guy... sorry. Your argument for Luke McCaffrey is his yards per catch number. That's what I've heard from you. Okay. I mean, that's worked out great for Jameson Williams, right, guys? As someone who owns Jameson Williams in the Flock League. But don't worry, his yards per catch number is really high. It's worked out great for Rashid Shaheed. No, guys, Rashid Shaheed and Jameson Williams, these are must-starts every week. Right? My reality is I don't think anyone knows the answer. But a lot of y'all are pretending like you do. And if it ends up being Luke McCaffrey, you'll victory lap it as if you knew the answer, and you just don't. If any of you are being honest with yourself, you don't know the answer. And honestly, if anyone is making content and telling you that they know the answer, they're lying to your face. Okay? Anyway. Based on what? What is your basis, Bold Clips? You've told me his yards per catch is high. What is your argument? If I don't know ball, what is your argument? You can't just keep telling me his yards per catch is high. Like, what is your argument beyond that? Like, that's not an argument. Yeah, no. See, Rich, this makes sense. But again, this doesn't just apply to Luke McCaffrey. Guys, this applies to every receiver in Washington. Okay, he's Christian McCaffrey's brother. Yeah. Some of you guys are crazy, dude. I think no matter what your opinion is on this, you can recognize that there hasn't been a single person in the chat who's made an argument that is specifically for Luke McCaffrey. Outside of, like, he's Christian McCaffrey's brother. And apparently it matters that he has a high yards per catch. By the way, guys. As if the guy that you're going to target down the field, you're going to give a high amount of targets. We've seen that, right, guys? Like, that's what happened with Jameson Williams and Rashid Shaheed this year, right? They're leading their league in target share. No, I mean, I don't really know. Yes. I think anyone who's using one in particular statistic or analytic to make a case, they probably have no case to begin with. That's like people on our Dynasty channel who are like, well, he's the #1 graded guy on PFF. Cool. Nice. What do you want me to do with that? What would you like me to do with that? Obviously I'm having fun with some of you guys, and look, the Luke McCaffrey guys could be totally right. You know what? You guys could be completely right, but you could be completely wrong, and too many of you are not acknowledging that reality. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. So anyway, if you want to go out there and start Luke McCaffrey, be my guest. But good luck. Good luck. It's a true who the hell knows situation, in my opinion. I don't think anyone really knows the answer. Could be Luke. Could be Chris. Could be Jalen. Could be none of the above. That's what's so tough about this. It's funny because I feel like if even Noah Brown was healthy, it'd be like, okay, we can probably trust Noah Brown. But you're talking about the wide receiver 4, 5, and 6 on the Commanders right now. And we are starting them with confidence now, are we? The wide receiver 4, 5, 6 on this team. One of them's going to have a great game. There's no doubt about it. If Jaden Daniels throws a 50-yard bomb to Luke McCaffrey, there will be no half celebrating. I don't care who he throws it to. I do not care who he throws it to. You can throw it to my grandfather and I will celebrate. Okay, we should get to some team reviews. I love some of you guys' confidence. I just haven't seen any of you give me a good reason. Look at what he does with his opportunities. Again, like, dude, this is such a dumb argument. You could say that about any of the receivers. None of you are saying anything that is unique to Luke McCaffrey. I feel like, okay, I'm done arguing with you guys online. Wow, Jalen Lane had 18.5 yards per catch last week. He's the guy. Some of you guys, man. Look at what Chris Moore did with his opportunities. Oh, I don't know, turned it into 46 yards and a touchdown. Chris Moore also doing things with his opportunities. It's like, bruh, some of y'all just making up. You guys are making up whatever you want to fit your own narrative. It's hilarious right now. But hey, this will be fun. Okay, let's jump into some team reviews here. I always love it when people use my Flock League record as like a reason to devalue my my opinions in the fantasy space. Like the amount of trust I've built with people over years, and they're like, "Oh, you're 2-4 in the Flock League." But yeah, that's what happens when your first and second round pick go down with an injury. If you guys are looking for someone to predict the future, you're definitely not with the right channel then. You definitely should not watch my content if you want to predict injuries. I am not the right person. Okay. Let's jump to some team reviews. Let's jump to some team reviews. If you guys want to get a team review, it's fairly simple. All you got to do is first use a promo code LAND. This is probably the easiest way to go about doing it. All you got to do is use a promo code LAND. And you're going to get a team playbook if you become an annual Mother Flocker member, right? Everybody gets a team playbook when they submit a team review with LAND. Again, you got to use a code LAND. Become an annual Mother Flocker member. That will give you a voucher that you can use through the Flock store. Now, that is available, again, to anybody who uses our promo code, but you can also do the same exact process when you have a different promo code. You can just buy it a la carte. And if you're a season pass member, you can actually upgrade to an annual membership. And that will give you an opportunity to get the voucher as well. Giveaway for today, we're 25 likes away, is week 7. And then all you got to do is like the stream as well. We're 25 likes away from another giveaway. But let's jump into, let's first off get rid of this poll where 46% of you are going with Luke McCaffrey this week. It's funny because like going into this stream, I didn't even think like Luke McCaffrey would be the option I would choose of all those Washington Commanders. That's what's funny about this is like me thinking through the situation as a Washington fan. Like, I don't know if I would choose Luke McCaffrey of all those names. In fact, right now I have Chris Moore ranked ahead of him. But time will tell, won't it? Okay. Let's jump into some... the season pass, it gets you 2 vouchers. A start, sit, and a trade question voucher. It also gets you unlimited access to the Flock site for the entire year. So everybody's rankings, all the premium tools like the trade calculator, the find trade tool, the comparison tool, predict tool, prospects tool. You get access to all of that. The My Teams feature as well. All that is pretty much included into that season pass, and that's access for the entire year. But I've told people if they buy the season pass today, I'll double their vouchers as well. Just got to use the code LAND. All right. AwareLift says, please review my team and give me trade advice with my other league mates. I traded away JSN for Chase week 1. Thank you, family. Okay. Well, that looked pretty bad last week, but that doesn't look too bad now. That doesn't look terrible, honestly. That could be worse in my mind. Your name is Jamar Izzard. Is that what it is? Jamar Izzard. So where are you? You're ranked last. Oh. Yikes. Brother, what happened to your running backs? Okay, we're going to help you out here, though. Don't worry. We're going to help you out. I 100% agree with Hollywood here. I 100% agree with Hollywood. McCaffrey's a younger player, so obviously that's fun as well. You know, younger player stepping into a bigger role. All that's really fun. But no one really knows what the answer is. And if anyone is pretending like they know the answer, they're lying to you. They're lying straight through their teeth. And if they're right, they'll victory lap as if they knew what they were talking about, but they don't know the answer. Jaden Daniels doesn't know the answer right now. It'll all depend on who ends up getting open. All right. So this team is not in a great spot, honestly. I think we need to be honest. Your team is not in a very good spot. Right now, you can start Josh Allen, I guess Stevenson, Vidal, Chase, Jefferson, Kincaid, and then your last flex would be Igbuka if he's healthy, but he's not. Let's see. Overall team grade, I'm probably putting this at like a C-. Your running back room is really bad, man. Really, really bad. And you need to hope that the Chargers don't trade. You need to hope that the Chargers don't trade for a running back, because that would just destroy you. And also, you could definitely use a Breece Hall trade. I think that'd be very beneficial for your team. Okay, so we said C-, right? I'm just writing this down on the back end as well. Untradables. Let's say Jamar Chase stashes. Isaiah Davis is a great stash. You've already got him there. Kendre Miller, great stash for you. On the waiver wire, Bashul Tutin has got to be picked up, dude. I don't know why Bashul Tutin's not rostered, especially with how bad your running back room is. There's just not a chance he should be out there available. I would also say Kendrick Bourne is worth picking up, and you could even start him this week in your lineup. Kendrick Bourne should be probably starting in your flex. As far as the cut forecast, you can cut Aaron Rodgers next week. You don't need him with Josh Allen. Who is this? Christian Watson. In my opinion, I think you can cut Luke McCaffrey after this week as well. Yeah, we've already talked about that enough on today's stream. But I would much rather start Kendrick Bourne than Luke McCaffrey if I had that option. But yeah, team's not in the best spot. The good news is you have an elite talent like Josh Allen, which we can potentially do a tear down. Who's on the waiver wire for quarterbacks? So you could pick up Trevor. That wouldn't be like the worst thing in the world. I feel like trading Josh Allen is what you probably need to do with the goal of improving at running back. You just desperately need to. So let's see a team that is competitive that could use a quarterback. How about the guy who is 5-1? He's got Caleb Williams. He's probably fine. He doesn't really have running back strength either. He can't really afford to give you anything. Mahomes, Jared Goff. That guy's probably not going to have a need. The guy was Bo Nix and Jackson Dart. He could definitely be interested. Could you send away Josh Allen for Kyron Williams? Honestly, just straight up, I would be okay to do that, and then you can go flex a quarterback if you need to. Yeah, so you're going to lose Josh Allen in that scenario, but you've got a legitimate starting running back. That would be great. They have enough depth to probably consider it. No matter what you do, you need to go pick up Bashul Tutin, though. I know I've said that already, but I just want to make sure I emphasize that. The guy who has Kyler Murray, Matthew Stafford would be interested. Could you get Javonte Williams? And, I mean, maybe they can throw you back Kyler or Stafford. I wonder if you could get Olave involved as well. Probably not. You don't have much depth, man. That's what's tough. Obviously, prefer like a Jacobs or a Saquon, but I just doubt that they would actually do that. I just don't think that those two are realistic. I think Javonte is more realistic. Excuse me. That's definitely the team that has a need, and you have the answer for them. The Fields and Stroud one is interesting. Derek is perfect, but you need to win this week. Oh, you're 4-2. You're 4-2. So you could actually go get Derrick Henry. Let's say Derrick Henry, Jordan Addison. That could be good. Yeah, let's go get Derrick Henry and Jordan Addison, and let's try and send Josh Allen and Kendre Miller. That might be asking for too much. You might have to just do straight up Derrick Henry. I don't know if there's something smaller on their team that you can get, but honestly, it's just frustrating me that Bashul Tutin's on the waiver wire right now. Yeah. I'd be fine with like a Derrick Henry swap. I think you can get more with Derrick Henry. That's what I'm struggling with. Hey, Luke McCaffrey's a superstar. Why don't you send Josh Allen and Luke McCaffrey? Superstar receiver for the Commanders. Must start, right? And then maybe you can get back, what, Jonathan Taylor? Oh, obviously jokes. But if you can use Luke McCaffrey in this and get back something interesting, that would be awesome. Devonta Smith, I don't know. That's definitely a good trade partner with you, though. The guy who was Jane Daniels is fine. I think those are some fair deals out there that you can probably pursue. I think Josh Allen is really your wiggle room, right? You don't have any running backs that people want. All your receivers are like your strength. Maybe you could sell like Buka, but as a 4-2 team, you don't really need to. You could hold on to him. But if you can figure out running back, I think that would put you in a great spot. Yeah, and then you can stream quarterback every week based off of matchup. But hopefully that's I mean, even if Joe Flacco is out there, is Joe Flacco on anyone's team? He is. But that's okay. I mean, there's plenty of names that you can go out there and stream each and every week. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for the support. Badaki is currently out with his wife with her birthday, but he should be getting you your team playbook within the next 72 hours. So be on the lookout for that. And we'll make sure and hook you up, my friend. It'll be in the advice tab, and then where your team review is, there's a section for a message, which we will send you the playbook. All right, let's let this reload here. We've got a start sit from Q. What's up, man? He's got Mac, Daniels, Ginty. Oh, God. You're really going to make me talk about the receivers in Washington again, brother? Well, look, if you can start Luke McCaffrey, we all know that he's going to be the one that you want to start. We know that for certain because he has a high yards per catch, and his last name is McCaffrey. So for whatever reason, he's on the waiver wire. He's a top 15 play this week. No, look, I think Jalen Lane and Luke McCaffrey have just as much upside. I wouldn't start any of these guys. Well, Zay's on bye. So, yeah, Jalen Lane's your best option there, I guess. At the flex, Derrick Henry's on bye. Debo's not playing. My goodness, dude. Who the hell are you going to put in your lineup here? Probably little Jordan Humphrey. Terrible matchup. But with no Slayton. Slayton's out still, right? Yeah, Slayton is out. Last time out, little Jordan Humphrey was 8 targets or something. So that is great usage. When another player goes out and you're like, oh yeah, the week before that he had 80% snaps, 8 targets. That's great usage. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to work from one week to the next, but there are worse plays out there. Kyle Monangai, I would play, obviously, over Van Jefferson if there's no DeAndre Swift. But outside of that, you don't really have another name you could start here. Yeah, dude, you are in a tough spot. Best of luck. I really hope it works out for you. Tony. What's up, Tony? He says, Dynasty, Zay has the upside, Kyron more consistent. You're sending away Walker, Smith, Worthy to get Zay and Kyron. Yeah, I don't see how you lose this trade, to be honest. I want Kyron over Walker. And then between Zay and Worthy, it's a complete toss-up. And Brashard Smith, as much as I love him, hasn't shown us anything yet to say that you have to value him much more than a throw-in in Dynasty. So, yeah, we'll take Kyron and Zay here pretty easily, I'd say. Pasta Bro, any trade advice to improve at running back? Considering selling Keenan, Pickens, or Tet in a package to get an RB1. Any start, sit, and waiver advice is appreciated as well. Thanks. Awesome. We'll definitely have a look at that, my friend. I'm just going to set your whiteboard up on the back end. All right, we've got Pasta Bro. Let me copy this, bring it over so I know we've got you. All right. Any trade advice to improve at running back considering selling Keenan, Pickens, or Tet in a package? Okay. Okay. Amon-Ra's Tooties. You're currently 3-3. You're the second highest ranked player in my rankings. At quarterback, you're pretty solid. Or hopefully you started Rodgers. At running back, you've got Judds, Amarion, Warren. Sucks that the Amarion stuff going on, but at least you have Jalen Warren there to cover. Yeah. Okay, this team isn't in a bad spot. Just got a bunch of injuries that are unfortunate. Yeah, first thing that stands out to me is Brian Robinson on the waiver wire. I believe he should be rostered because if anything were to happen to CMC, we know how valuable the next guy in that backfield is. Overall team grade, starting Lamar, Judkins, Warren, Amon-Ra, T-Mac, Brock, and then only one more in Pickens. Honestly, I don't think you actually need to do a trade. It's only a start 7. So right now your start 7 is Lamar when he's, when they're back from bye. Lamar, Judkins, Warren, Amon-Ra, T-Mac, Brock, and then you're flexing George Pickens. That's not a bad lineup. I mean, you got Tony Pollard you can throw in there. You got Hampton hopefully coming back week 13 or whatever it ends up being. So if you can kind of scrap your way into the playoffs, I don't think you need to make a trade, but we'll definitely look at all of our options. Overall team grade. Probably going to lean a B. If everybody was healthy, this is a B+, but we'll go B- for right now. I think that's the most accurate B-. Untradables on this team, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Lamar. But if the right deal came, you could consider it. You can definitely keep stashing the RJ Harveys of the world. Mason Taylor is a bad stash, but you just don't really need help at tight end. That's a fine stash. So after this week, you can cut Aaron Rodgers pretty much instantly. You do not need to keep Aaron Rodgers with Lamar and Jackson Dart. And then when you use that free space, I would probably go out there and, man, with Hawkinson on the waiver wire, dude, I'm probably cutting Mason Taylor. I would rather have Brian Robinson this week because Mason Taylor is a flex, or is like a desperation start at tight end, right? That's what he will be this week and next week. Maybe people have more confidence in him next week. But if CMC were to go down and Brian Robinson's on your waiver wire, you would just massively regret that. So actually, I think you're cutting Mason Taylor right now, and you're picking up Brian Robinson. It's just the outcome of what those two could be at the end of this week. It's not the same. All right. We can come up with some ideas here. Maybe Keenan Allen's hard to trade, to be honest. We can look at a Pickens trade. George Pickens plus Amari Hampton, maybe. As a 3-3 team, maybe we can go, find a team that is ready to wait on Hampton a little bit more. So is there any teams that are like undefeated or no? A lot of 4-2s. So could you go get a JCM and a Sutton? I don't think that's a crazy ask. I think that might be possible. JCM and Sutton. Yeah, can't really afford Ibuka right now. And Rashee Rice is really hard to trade for. So that could work. Let's keep looking here. 4-2 teams. Devontae Adams and I feel like you would need Kyron Williams. Maybe you have to settle for ET in there if you do a deal with that guy. Brian Thomas Javonte? That actually might be possible after this week. Brees, no, there's no receiver there. That makes sense. Monty Jefferson. That actually could be possible. It depends on how they view Amari and Hampton rest of the year. 4-2. You're not going to go out and get Ken Walker. But you would do Chase Swift. But I doubt that's even possible. I think those first three are probably more realistic than the last couple ones. But honestly, Pasta Bro, I don't think you really have to make a move right now. Like I said, I understand why you'd stash Mason Taylor. Maybe you could try and move Mason Taylor as well. Does any team desperately need tight end? Because maybe you could package Kyle Pitts and Pollard and go get a better running back too. But yeah, man. Thanks for letting me review the team. I think you're in a better position than you actually believe. And I hope that those ideas are helpful. Badaki will get you your team playbook within the next 72 hours. All right. What's up, guys? What's up, Hollywood? If you guys signed up first off, if you sign up for a free account, you don't get free questions, right? But you do get some of the free features like the My Teams feature, which you can see expert consensus on your league. But if you signed up and let's say you became a redraft pass member, the season pass, $34 one-time purchase, just make sure you use the code LAND, LAND, when you sign up. That way, you'll be asking me questions. But once you sign up, if you're a season pass member, then you already have vouchers in your account, right? So what you can do is you can come here to the My Teams page. I didn't see anything on the back end, Hollywood, so you may not have entered a promo code. And if you haven't, then go to your account at the top right. Okay? And then under promo code, put LAND there. Because if you haven't entered a promo code, your vouchers won't go to anybody. So put LAND in there. And you can also, you can DM me on Discord as well. I'll make sure and help you out, my friend. There's my Discord name. If you have any questions. Also, I don't know what Nightbot's doing. Sorry, sometimes it's got a mind of its own. But yeah, make sure you enter the promo code LAND. Let me know if you sign up with no promo code. That might be the issue. But once you've got the promo code entered, you can go to the My Teams feature, and then you will have a trade question and a start sit question automatically. And once you link your team up there, you kind of go through the steps and tell me who you have on your team. Like for example, I have Jaden Daniels now. So I can tell you at every position who I'm considering for a start sit, for example. It automatically link your settings. Easy Vanya, what's up? Frustrated about Evans. I need to win. Should I start Pittman and not risk it? I have Tez too. So I don't see any players linked, brother. Easy Vanya, are you in the chat? Because I don't see any players linked. Is the question just the text? Like, are you just asking if you should start Pittman and instead of waiting on Evans? Let me know if you're in the chat, Easy Vanya. I'm assuming that's your question. Okay, that's it. Okay. Look, I'm hoping that we find out more information in the next, 12 hours on Mike Evans. I don't know that we're really going to know for sure. I kind of lean towards him playing. I don't really want him to, though. I kind of lean towards him playing. I guess you could pick up Sterling Shepard, and if he doesn't play, or you have Tez Johnson. All right. Yeah, if you have Tez Johnson, I think that's enough for me to wait on Evans, but I can't promise you that he's going to play. I would probably, I'd probably lean on betting on Evans, and if he's not there, just putting Tez in, or even Cade Otton into your flex. If you have Cade Otton out there, I'd probably prefer to do that and have the upside of an Evans in my lineup. Okay, this is probably the last team review of the day. We're still accepting questions on the site. Yeah, I think Otton's a really good backup plan then, because if there's no Evans, I like Otton as a flex over the receivers. Again, it's actually not that different in... Yeah, this is actually really funny. It's not that different in Tampa Bay than it is in Washington. Assuming there's no Mike Evans, there are 3 guys that you could play. One of them is going to have a great day, and you can make a case for any of them, right? You can make a case for Tez Johnson because he's a young guy and played a high percentage of the snaps. You can make a case for Sterling Shepard because he has an inbuilt chemistry with Baker Mayfield, and you make the case for Cameron Johnson because he got more work than most of them last week. It's a high over-under. Baker Mayfield, so... All right, the Beast says 1-5% say I go 1-6 this week. The all play shows I'm not that bad, but I will definitely need a change. Wanting to trade Hampton, but have not been offered anything worth it. Let me know what y'all think. Thanks. Unsolicited Dak picks. So you're currently 1-5. Like you said, you're projected to go to 1-6. And that's painful, man. It's painful when, you've got a good team, but injuries. I feel that in the Flock League, man. This is the part of fantasy football that a lot of people aren't honest about. There's a lot of luck in fantasy football. And a lot of that luck includes a healthy fantasy football team. Your chances of making the playoffs, your chances of winning a championship are drastically higher or lower
depending on injuries. That's just the reality of fantasy football. And most of you guys will look at your fantasy football leagues, and the teams that are up there in the top in the playoffs, they don't have many injuries. The teams that are at the bottom, they're typically decimated with injuries. That's the unfortunate reality of fantasy football. You can't predict injuries. Now, you've lost Amarian Hampton. You've lost Terry McLaurin. You've had a couple key injuries. The Lamar Jackson injury hurt Derrick Henry for you. So your starting lineup this week is probably between Dak and Jalen. I actually might be going Dak this week. I need to remind myself the Eagles play the Vikings. I am going to go Dak this week with CeeDee Lamb back. Okay, so you're probably starting Dak, then Judkins, Scat, Jefferson, Smith, Tucker, and then you have one more flex, which at this point is probably Matthew Golden. There's some beef in the chat right now. I love it. Yes. So I can see why you're in a tough spot. The team healthy is actually a pretty good team. The team injured, obviously in a difficult position, right? I probably would put this team around a B flat. It's actually not a bad team, just the injuries are killing you. I'm having super troubles getting BK into the site. I don't know what BK means. What does BK mean, brother? I don't know what you mean by that, Hollywood. Okay. I need to give you a Burger King. I'm having trouble just getting back into the site. Oh, that's weird. You should just be able to go to flockfantasy.com. There's not any updates or anything being pushed through right now. You should be able to do that pretty easily. And then you go to your account, and then you go to change the promo code. Make sure you put land in there. A trade was just completed in the Dynasty Juliet League. Let me have a look at this real quick. Someone just sent away a Dunze and Franklin for Rashee Rice. Okay. It's pretty fair. I think we need to start a new poll in the chat. I think this is where we need to get a good gauge of the Luke McCaffrey love. It's a real, honest question. It's just a real, honest question. You know, you got to be honest with yourself when you're answering these questions, guys. I don't think you can sit Luke. I don't think you can sit him. Most of you will understand why that's funny. Okay. Where is... Oh, okay. I see what I'm doing wrong. I'm not putting an R in front of these names. Give me 1 second. Is it? It's hashtag R. Okay. Hashtag R. Hashtag R. Hashtag R. 1, 2, 3. Come on, guys. We gotta take Luke McCaffrey seriously. Okay, where are we at? Okay. Where are we at? The Beast O. The Beast O. Hollywood. What's your username, Hollywood? What's your username on the Flock site? And did you use what promo code did you use at sign up, my friend? You might have to message me on DM later, my dude. Honestly, I just want everyone to vote Luke McCaffrey at this point, just for the meme. No, what is your username? Is this your username, Hollywood with an I? Because I'm not seeing any transaction there, which I can tell you how to talk to the developers if that's the case. That's your username. Okay. Right now it's not showing any purchase. So what I'm going to need you to do, my friend, is go to our Discord. Under the site issues tab, that's where our developers are. And then submit a ticket here. And once you do, let me know that you have. I'll tag our developers in it so they can have a look at it. Say, I bought the season pass with promo code LAND, and it's not showing as any purchase has happened, basically. Okay. Let's get back to the beast here. I'm sorry, the beast. I got distracted. Okay. Like you said, 1-5, about to go 1-6. I understand your frustration, man. Your team isn't really that bad. It's just, like we said earlier, you just got a bunch of injuries that you're dealing with. We gave you a B, overall team grade as a B. If you were to get healthy, that would be obviously a much better grade. Jefferson's probably your closest thing to an untradeable, but he's not really untradeable. Bashul Tutin's a great stash, so definitely keep him. Travis Hunter, they're talking about using him more as a receiver, so that's definitely intriguing to me. I definitely think Jaden Higgins is worth stashing, but there's no one on your team I would, you know, cut to do so. Pacheco's out there as well. That's crazy. I would say we'll put Harold Fannin on the cut. Just like, let's give it 3 weeks. If he's not showing us any reliability, we can cut him. But right now, he's a really good hold. Okay. So you want to trade Amarion Hampton. I think the way you need to do that, my friend, is package Amarion Hampton with either Dak Prescott or Jalen Hurts. So let's go to the whiteboard and let's think of some ideas here. Again, all these deals, Jalen Hurts is interchangeable. And in an ideal world, you know, you're going to have Derrick Henry when he's back from the bye. You have 3 running backs that are actually pretty decent. I don't even mind including Devonta Smith if we find the right deal. But is there a team that needs like a real impact quarterback? Is there any team out there that really needs it? Let's see. The guy who has Goff and Stroud. Could you go get a Kyron Williams? And something small from him. That something small being... I don't know. Woody Marks, maybe? That doesn't seem like an unreasonable trade at all. So he could be a partner for you. The guy who has Caleb Williams. I don't know. Could you try and go get Jahmyr Gibbs? I don't think you can. And that would be the only name we'd really want there. The guy who has Bo Nix has Ken Walker. That's not great. But he also has CeeDee Lamb. Can use Hampton and Smith in this. And can you go get CeeDee Lamb? Josh Jacobs is a true game time decision. We won't know if he's ready to play until Sunday with his calf and his illness. That would actually be so funny based off what happened in the Flock League this week. If Josh Jacobs doesn't. If Josh Jacobs doesn't play, oh my God, that would be hilarious. Okay, Hampton, Dak, and Devonta Smith. I don't think that's a crazy offer. Now, you lose Dak, that's fine. You can still start Jalen Hurts. This just improves your starting lineup. Yeah, I think those are your main teams, though. I think those are your main teams that you can trade with. No one else really needs help at quarterback. But how about the 5-1 teams? No, see, there's no flexibility there. This guy has Devon Achane and Tony Pollard only. Could you give him Hampton and Derrick Henry? For Devon Achane? For him, he can wait on... This doesn't really fix a problem for you, though. Maybe you can add Chris Olave into the deal and send them Matthew Golden or something. Yeah, that could work. Let's see. 5-1. No, I don't see a deal there. That makes sense. Yeah, it's tough because Hampton is not very attractive to these teams that are 3-3 and 1-5 and 2-4. You can't sell them to them. You can only really sell them to these top teams. That's why there's not as many options there. But I really don't think you're in a bad spot. Maybe you can package like Hampton and Devonta Smith. Maybe that's our last thing we'll look at. And if you did something like that, you'd want to upgrade at receiver, right? So if you package them, Rashee Rice is probably unattainable, but you know, names like that in that area, Nico Collins. I don't think you can get Drake London, but maybe Nico Collins. Yeah, man, either way, if you want help or you want a refund, you got to go. I mean, you're going to have to talk to our developers. Okay. So the same exact link I just sent you, whether you want help or you want a refund, that's up to you. But same exact link, my friend. Same exact link to talk to our developers. You can tell them the issues. I'd be happy to tag them if you do go and create a tag. I'd be happy to tag them so they can see it straight away. But that's up to you. But I appreciate you, DeBeast. Thanks for letting me review the squad. Not in a bad spot. Try some of those trade ideas. And I wish you the best of luck. All right, I think we got a couple questions left. When I asked for help, I put in my email I just used and get no emails. Dude, this is so confusing. When I asked for help, I put in my email. You shouldn't... It's not going to prompt you to put your email in on the Discord unless you don't have a Discord account and you're creating one brand new. Our website doesn't have like a email tab, if that makes sense. But we can definitely help over there on Discord, my friend. If you have an account, just submit a tab with the link that I sent. I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm just trying to give you the answers. I don't know what to say. I've never been asked to submit an email with our Discord. So if you have a Discord account, then You just have to submit through the site issues tab. That's where our developers are. That's where they can help. Yeah. Okay, we have one more question on the Flock site for today. Namus is starting Jordan Love at running back. We're going to start Jahmyr Gibbs. We're going to start Javonte Williams at wide receiver. Brian Thomas. A.J. Brown. At tight end, we're going to rock with Hunter Henry. Mason Taylor's an interesting stash. And this is where you're really having troubles, I imagine. Pacheco, it's not fun, but we can start him versus the Raiders. And then you have one other option. For me, this is probably Jordan Whittington, but it's very close between him and Elike Manor. I don't like it. It's not fun, but I think Whittington probably is the one in that Puka Nacua role. All right, looks like we have one more from Ram and God, and then, look, honestly, I'm probably done. It's Sunday here. I want to go hang out with my wife. Luke over Rice. Who's Rice? Is this like Rashee Rice? Ram and God, tell me you're trolling. Okay, guys, the poll was just a joke. I think we need to get rid of that poll because people are taking it seriously. The poll was a joke. Enjoyed 2 and 5 when you bench Luke. Ramen God, you're in the chat. You're not being serious, right? I mean, you start Rashee Rice. Yeah, I mean, you don't sit Rashee Rice for Luke McCaffrey for sure. I can't think of another Rice that would be, or maybe is that a different Luke? I don't know, but definitely start Rashee Rice over Luke McCaffrey. And as I've said before, it's totally possible that Luke McCaffrey has a great game, but that's the case for any Washington receiver. Rick Mito at quarterback. I'm probably starting Mac Jones. At running back, between all these options, this would be Woody Marks for me. And then in your flex, wow. Okay. So would you guys rather start Luke McCaffrey, Travis Hunter, Bam Knight, Travion Henderson? I think the chat's going to say Luke McCaffrey. Oh my gosh. Okay, take this one serious, guys. I'm actually helping someone out here. So let's take this seriously. Cope harder, it's Luke McCaffrey. See, this is my chat has become so violent with me that I literally say, hey, Luke could actually have a good game. And they're like, cope harder. What? You guys are too much. All right, Luke McCaffrey. Take this one seriously, okay? It's just look, you guys, Amadeus, you guys are being dramatic. I'm being dramatic. Just relax. All right, let's answer this chat truthfully. This poll truthfully. He's going to take the powers from Christian. Answer the poll with 100% honesty and transparency. So far, 40% of people are saying Luke McCaffrey. That wouldn't be my answer going into the stream. But I don't know anymore. At this point, who the hell knows? 47% of people are saying Luke McCaffrey. Yeah, Hunter's really interesting, I think, in this conversation with the Jags saying they want to feature him more as a receiver. I believe them. I believe that they want to do that. But yeah, you're really kind of dart throwing here. The chat is very confidently going Luke McCaffrey there. Ricky says, I'm the one that asked the question. As of now, I'm going Hunter, but now I'm torn. Yeah, look, I mean, to be honest, Ricky, before this stream, wasn't a part of me that was considering Luke McCaffrey in the Flock League. And now I'm like, okay, interesting. A lot of these guys have confidence. Again, I don't really have the same confidence that the chat does, because every argument that's being made outside of like yards per catch is an argument that could be made for any receiver in Washington. I mean, if you want to make like a statistical, analytical argument, I don't understand why people aren't. That's what I don't understand. Like, why are people not hyped about Chris Moore? I guess he doesn't have the last name McCaffrey, but I mean, Chris Moore has actually played over 57% of the snaps every game since week 3. Luke, I don't think he's played over 40% of the snaps this entire year. And of course, this is probably the week where that changes, because there will be no Terry, no Debo. But there's already no Terry last week. So I feel like if people are really excited about the situation, why is no one talking about Chris Moore? That's what I don't understand. Is because of the yards per catch. I mean, those things are not really sticky once you get into a featured role, but people are kind of turning Luke McCaffrey into Jameson Williams, I think, which, yeah. If Luke is highest on the depth chart, then the depth chart means nothing, because he hasn't played higher than Chris Moore at any point this year. He hasn't played what Chris Moore did in week 3 with 57% of the snaps is higher than what Luke McCaffrey's done his entire career. So depth chart should not be an argument. Who else are we thinking about here? Jalen Lane. Jalen Lane, 42% of the snaps last week. Jalen Lane might be the one that benefits the most. He might play more slot. It could be either of them. Yes, guys. I only watch Red Zone. That's me. Look, the chat is telling you to start Luke McCaffrey. And they're doing it very confidently. 47% of people are saying Luke McCaffrey is your answer here. I'm not taking responsibility for this decision. The chat is taking responsibility for this decision. You can be a Commanders fan and also be rational. I don't feel like you guys are being rational with this, but it is what it is. Luke McCaffrey, the next Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's funny because even the people I trust on like, even the people I trust in different platforms, none of them are like, yeah, it's definitely Luke McCaffrey. I think most of them are taking the same approach. It's a great matchup. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, nobody. I guess because you don't have to put your face to a take online, it's easier to be confident without any real backing outside of like personally insulting the person who isn't as confident as you are. Even like Jeff Mueller, I love Jeff Mueller, such a smart guy. Weeks 4 to 6 without McLaurin. Debo was at a 51% slot rate. Jalen at a 41%. Luke and Chris, we've seen them play out wide. This is why I don't really understand. This was kind of my thought as well. If anybody benefits from that slot, it could be Luke, but the way they're deploying these guys, it says Jalen. It feels like Jalen Lane. Yeah. I don't care what CBS says, by the way. It was funny, like yesterday we posted a video and we were talking about how Jake Ferguson, if you can sell him in a package and find a way to, get to the McBrides, the George Kittles, these names, then you should look to do that. If you can make a 2-for-1, right? Like an important bench piece player. And someone replied and said, well, I'm not watching this channel ever again. Why would you make such a stupid statement like sell Jake Ferguson? And I said, well, let's take the insults out of it and just give me constructive feedback. What didn't you like about the take? And they replied with an entire article from CBS that talked about how Jake Ferguson was a great matchup this week. And I'm like, never once did I say Jake Ferguson wasn't a great play this week or that I hated Jake Ferguson. But if you're going to reply and tell me, well, CBS told me this, I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. But yeah, most of the chat is saying Luke McCaffrey there. So Mellow BR is another question. Oh, we just got a new question. So yeah, good luck to who was the one who submitted that question? Who was it? It was, I swear I highlighted their question. Who was the name that submitted that Luke McCaffrey question? Anyway. Okay, we've got a couple other questions here. I am definitely wanting to go get some lunch here, so this will probably be the last couple of questions. Mellow BR, starting Jared Goff, Daniel Jones, Tyler Warren, Cam Scattaboo. At flex, a lot of good options here. How many flexes do you have? Okay, so we've got to have 2 flexes here. What an interesting league. Yeah, like this is a good question for Manny, for example. Like I am not sitting Kendrick Bourne for Luke McCaffrey. There's just no way. There's just no way I'm doing that. But the chat's probably going to tell you to, from what it sounds like. The chat's probably going to tell you to start him over Brian Thomas, from what it sounds like. Okay, it's a chopped league. Okay. So Jared Goff, Daniel Jones, Tyler Warren, Scattaboo. Probably putting Brian Thomas in there next. You've got Josh Jacobs. Probably going to rock with Etienne. Now, if Josh Jacobs can't go, between Vidal and Pittman, it would be close, but I'll probably lean Vidal. Just with the amount of touches he should see. EF7 is starting Drake May, Ginty, JCM, London, T-Mac, McBride at the flex spot. If Igbuka plays, obviously it's Igbuka. But if no Igbuka, for me, this is probably Woody Marks. Good luck, my friend. Appreciate you big time. All right, I think that's all the questions for today. I think we are finally good to go. And geez, I am tired. How long was this stream? This stream almost 3 hours. Closing in on 3 hours. All right. Let's get one more question in the chat here. And take this seriously. Take this seriously. Assume that Mike Evans is playing. PPR. All right, take the poll seriously, chat. Who would you start? Take it seriously. What the fuck? I cannot believe this. There's no way this is your real opinions, chat. What is that SpongeBob meme? This is genuinely psychotic to me, the way that you guys are reacting to this question now. I want you guys to understand how psychotic your answers are. This is actually really funny. I think it kind of I think this kind of shows exactly what I've been trying to say. So, 55 votes, and by far the player that you guys trust the least is Chris Moore. Y'all see any irony in this? Y'all see any irony in what's happening right now? I'll tell you exactly what's happening. This is what's happening right now. That's Chris Moore. That's Luke McCaffrey. That's Chris Moore. That's Luke McCaffrey. That's Chris Moore. That's Luke McCaffrey. Oh my gosh. That's you can't convince me that's not what's happening. Okay, let's start a new poll here. This guy stinks. What are you guys taking there? What's your answer? Actually, you know, that is actually a pretty good poll. You know what I want to do, actually, and this is probably the last thing we'll do right now, is I actually want to go to our actual posts. this is typically where we get some more honest responses. And we get a very big sample size as well. Here's what I'm going to do. I think this is where we can get the actual most honest answer. Okay. Who does he play? Is it at Detroit? It's at Detroit. Okay. I think we'll get the most honest answers with our actual posts. Because I think this chat is trolling at this point. And with some of the questions, I hope they weren't trolling, honestly, because that could be harmful to some of the people who are trying to get help. But we're gonna get an answer here. Otten McCaffrey. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So if you go to Fantasyland Football Posts, you'll see this. But I'll put a link in the chat for you guys. But let's see. Which of these flex options will score most points in Week 7 PPR? We're assuming Kate Otten has Mike Evans. Right now, there's only been 6 votes, so there's not really much to go off of. That's now at 9. But we'll get a pretty good sample size because 3 days ago, that vote got 13,000, 20,000, 14, 21, 17. So we're ranging anywhere from like 13 to 20,000 votes. That's obviously way more helpful than like we get like 50 in these polls. Right now, 36%, only 14 votes in, 36% are going Luke McCaffrey. Which will be fun to see how that pans out. But guys, appreciate you so much for being here with us. Good luck, whatever decisions you make this week. Good luck. And I hope you get the win. And I'll see you guys later on. Enjoy the rest of your night. I'm going to go get some lunch with some family. And appreciate you guys. The giveaway, we didn't reach our second goal. We already did the giveaway. We didn't reach our second goal, guys. But all right, guys. Love. No way. Hold on. Checkmate says I'm sitting Waddle and playing Luke. I'm dead serious. Huh. There's definitely a couple people who are trolling in the chat. Captain was trolling. I think Mike called him out for it earlier in the year. He was saying Tyler Warren was a bust. Who is the other one that seems to be trolling? There was another one. I don't remember what their username was. So be careful, guys. I'm saying that to say be careful. Think through your decisions. Obviously, if your best option is Luke McCaffrey, you can put him out there. But be cautious. Be cautious. Think through your best options. And we will see you guys next week. Love.